Welcome to the MBA Flash webinar session today. We're going to be speaking with Drew Kerr, who's the Interior Special Projects and Business Development Manager with Turner Construction Company here in the Pittsburgh market. The topic today is going to be diversity in construction, and we're excited to hear about the efforts that Drew and the team at Turner have been putting into this area of our industry here for the last year to 18 months, and excited to learn more about what Turner is doing, not just for Turner and for their projects, but for our industry at large. Drew, appreciate the time this morning and looking forward to speaking with you.
Thanks, Dave, and really appreciate the MBA giving me the opportunity to present here. And we're going to talk today for about 5 or 10 minutes on a few slides about diversity in construction and some of the things that we're seeing and doing over the last, as you said, over the last year or so. So diving in, just some statistics to throw out to start the preface of the conversation is, so in Western Pennsylvania, the Black population of our workforce is at a low rate of only 8.4% of the total employee workforce. In construction, that percentage reduces down even more to only 3.4% of the construction employee workforce is a Black population. And that puts us in one of the bottom 5 occupations for Black employees in the Pittsburgh, Western Pennsylvania area. So significant work that we have to do to support diversity within our market here in Western Pennsylvania. But some statistics from the Bureau of Labor Statistics for Diversity in Construction across the country shows that the lack of diversity is across the board. It's not just here in Western Pennsylvania. The national averages for diversity in construction, you can see there's Black employees is only 6.2%. Asian employees 2.0%, and women employees 9.9%. So we're very much lacking in the diversity that we have across the portfolio of our workforce in the management and trades that we employ for the construction projects. The next slide here, I wanted to go back in history a little bit and really make those statistics stand out and understand is, we are still building today almost in the same way that we built 50 to 100 years ago. Now we've advanced in some technology aspects, but generally we are still using the same methods and procedures that we have over the last 50 to 100 years. And 50 to 100 years ago, we are still seeing a labor force and a construction management crews that have the same overall look that they did 50 to 100 years ago. Now we've opened the doors to a small percentage of diversity, as you could see in the statistics on the last slide, but we still have a significant way to go as our industry has not been one of the most welcoming of industries to open the door for diversity, and therefore has caused us to be in the situation we're in, where diverse candidates really potentially do not look at the construction industry as a future opportunity for employment and engage with our firms to become further advancing their careers in our industry and our teams. So we have a lot of work to do, and we're going to get into reasons why we believe diversity, equity, inclusion is a good thing, and then some of the things we can do to promote diversity, equity, inclusion for our firms and for our industry. So DE&I, it drives financial success. So some of the statistics for more gender diverse companies in our industry show that they're 21% more likely to have financial returns above the national industry average. And more ethnic diverse companies, a percentage increases to 33%. So right there alone, from a company perspective to drive the bottom line, it just makes sense to have a gender and ethnically diverse company within the ranks. DE&I also drives innovation and creative thinking. Having a diverse workforce and staff as people thinking differently, challenging each other, and coming up with better solutions to do what we've done in the past to do it better in the future. Inclusion amongst the workforce and amongst the ranks mitigates employee turnover. Happier employees drives better success on our projects. And we all know employee turnover is a very difficult thing to deal with, especially with a low labor availability within our industry. Supplier diversity programs can increase market share, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we do at Turner to support some of those initiatives. So What the biggest thing we've done is our CEO has made it mission number one over the last 12 months or so now to say that we are going to be a catalyst for change within the construction industry. We are going to open our doors more than we ever have. We are going to embrace diversity, equity, inclusion, and we are really going to change the construction industry in the way we've been thinking over those past 50 to 100 years to be something different for the next 50 to 100 years to come. And that's his goal as he works, to the end of his career and he transitions the company into the next phase of its evolution. And some of the things we've implemented are required staff trainings. Every staff member across our company has to go through unconscious bias, understanding systemic racism, preventing workplace harassment, and understanding racism on the job site. Every office within Turner has employee resource groups that are set up. And employee resource groups they're voluntary employee-led groups. They're not dictated groups. They foster diverse, inclusive workplace alignment. They gather camaraderie amongst different teams and drive that innovation and creative thinking across the different individuals and cultures within the ranks of the staff. And in Pittsburgh, we created what we call a bridge group, which the three main functionalities of our group is connectivity, improvement, and outreach. And in other offices across our network of business units, we've seen Mosaic network groups, Pride network groups, Women network groups. So really any type of group that really wants to come together and just promote each other and different cultures to grow diversity, equity, and inclusion amongst our individual companies and staff. Also, an initiative that we've been doing for, I believe it's 25 plus years, is the Turner School of Construction Management. Locally, we've done this twice this year already. We're coming to the tail end of the second program. The first program, we partnered with Pitt Supplier Diversity Program. And right now we are partnered with UPMC Supplier Diversity Program for the one that's going on currently. And what it is we invite and look for minority and women and disadvantaged business enterprises to come in and work through an 8 to 10 week program where we bring our experts from around the country and locally in to teach them, coach them, mentor them, and provide the support necessary to these businesses to help them grow, help them build relationships, help them understand what's the right risk management protocols, insurance protocols, surety protocols, how to estimate, how to manage day-to-day operations on a job, accounting, all the things that you need to create a successful business and grow a business in a responsible, successful manner. We provide these services during this program, but then after the program, we've built the relationships where they can reach out to us, hopefully to work with us on our projects, but also for just in general, if they need any support to help grow their business. And on top of that, our procurement group, we have a supplier diversity procurement goal within that group that's company-wide. That is, we look to award 20% MWDBE subcontractors for 20% of our project revenue on all of our projects, regardless of what the client goals may be, whether they're 0, 10, 15, or higher than 20. Our minimum standard is the goal is 20. And when we do hire on these MWDBE companies, we develop specific coaching plans for our operational teams to make sure that we don't leave these firms out on an island and we cause them harm on our projects. We make sure our teams understand that we do have to work and tailor the way we manage our projects to support them to make them successful, which is ultimately going to make us successful on our projects. And then the last note there is absolutely no pass-throughs. That alone has really hurt the industry in terms of MWDBE firms who are not truly MWDBE firms, not getting those opportunities and not getting that mentorship, coachingship, and those chances to grow their business. So we do not allow any pass-throughs on any types of projects. ACE Mentor Program. Peter Davern, our CEO, is the vice chairman for the National Board of Directors for ACE, and it is his passion to have every one of our offices around the country deeply involved in the ACE mentorship program. So locally, we are involved on the mentorship side as part of committees and look to be engaged in a board process to grow and expand the ACE mentorship program to get to students in the middle school and high school ranks to push them to the AEC industry and to firms like Turner and others within the MBA to support the growth of diversity within our industry as a whole. We partner with NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, on a national level, but we also look for our local recruiters who go out to the local universities to partner with the local university NSBE chapters and find diverse candidates that are excelling in their education who want to join the construction industry and look for them to bring them into the the ranks as employees of Turner Construction. We also ask our recruiters who go out to these schools or recruiters looking at experienced hires to find ways to connect with diverse candidates. Don't go to a career fair and just sit there and wait for people to come to you, because the statistics are out there and diverse candidates are aware that the construction industry doesn't have a lot of individuals that look like them currently. So they may be intimidated or not willing or wanting to come up to our staff that's at a career fair. So it's our job to go seek out professors at the university and ask who the top diverse candidates are, and go seek out those candidates and speak with them one-on-one and make them feel comfortable that they're going to have a promising career within our industry and within our firm. So it's definitely something that we stress to our teams that go out and look for hiring talent. And then lastly, we over the past 50 to 100 years, if you ever walked on a job site and went into a porta potty or into a restroom trailer or just on a job site, you're almost guaranteed to see some form of graffiti, which was inherently a form of harassment, and really it went unchecked, and that's not okay, and that's not acceptable. And what we've done is we've put a policy in place that basically says there is no graffiti allowed on our job sites at all. And we've put a zero tolerance policy in place for that, to say that if there is graffiti found, and if there is harassing graffiti or any other types of discrimination or bias that's found on the job site, those individuals, if we can find out, understand who they were, they will not be allowed to work on our project any longer, and they will not be allowed to work on any Turner project in the future. And we've gone even to the lengths of talking to subcontracting firms who have had multiple infractions of the zero tolerance policy, that if they don't agree and they don't get on board with our zero tolerance policy, that it is not it may be a good opportunity to end our working relationship with that firm, as the values aren't aligned in the way we are moving forward in the way we do business out on our job sites. So that's a policy that has really changed a lot in terms of the way the job sites were always thought of and ran, and it was just accepted in terms of that harassment, discrimination, and bias on the job sites, which is really unfair and unacceptable. And now we're making that change and not allowing that to occur anymore. And so that's a lot of things to do, and really the question is, how can we do it, and is it possible, and how long is it going to take? But really the thing to think about is, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that hard. It's just we have to be intentional about it. We can't just talk about it. You have to do something. We have to provide those opportunities. We can't just talk about those opportunities. You actually have to make them real. We have to take chances and risks, and that's inherent to our business anyway. So we're already doing it today in everything we do. Take another leap of faith, take a chance, take a risk. It most likely is going to end up better for us in the long run. We have to be willing to mentor and coach. We have to be patient. It's not going to happen overnight, and there's going to be bumps and bruises, but we have to be willing to mentor and coach. And the biggest thing we have to do, which I think is we've done it in the past, is we cannot make excuses. The excuses have to go away, and we have to do everything in those four bullet points above to really change the way our culture is in the construction industry, to have a more diverse, equity and inclusive environment moving forward. So Dave, that is my presentation today. So thank you again for having me.
Yeah, Drew, I really appreciate that. I thought it was terrific. Great information, and the facts and figures of where we are, but also where you're looking to help move not only Turner, but the industry is important. It's important to us at the Master Builders Association. We've been doing a lot of work on our journey as well, and we're excited about some of the opportunities that we're going to be pushing forward on together. But I do think it's important to go back to your statistics at the beginning of where we are as a region, as a city, demographically speaking, and what we are from an industry, and what the stats and figures are. And I think that inclusive effort, the equity and inclusion piece of this, is where we can really make strides. While we can't necessarily manufacture more diversity within the region, we can do a better job at creating opportunities and creating that inclusive nature that says, here's a career path, regardless of what stage or level it is within the industry, where we can get better, where we can have diverse individuals, and will ultimately create better teams, better projects, and better outcomes for our clients. So I do appreciate your time this morning and the effort that you put into this. We're excited to have you and Turner as a member and to be a partner in what we're doing here in the industry. I do want to make sure that we mention we've got another flash session coming up here in a couple of weeks. It'll be on our CAP scholarship program. We're going to have some engaging conversation about how we work with Pitt and their construction management program, and what we've been doing throughout the years, as well as what we're looking to do continuing moving forward to help not only bring qualified professionals into the industry at that level, but also look at some diversity and equity issues there as well. Appreciate the time again, Drew Kerr with Turner Construction. Thank you for participating in this third flash session here with the Master Builders Association.
Thank you.